Hello, it's David at Vivid Care and I'm a product specialist. I'm here to explain today about the differences between rigid active user wheelchairs and folding active user wheelchairs, just to try and help understand the differences between them. Yeah, so this, as a rigid wheelchair, this is one of our popular models. It's called the Quickie Nitrum, and basically what rigid means is that it doesn't fold like a traditional wheelchair in the middle, so you've got a rigid bar across there. A lot of people do often say to me, well, does that mean it doesn't fold down at all to get into the car? Which isn't strictly true, because what happens with these chairs is the backrest tends to drop over like this, and then of course what you can then do is take off the wheels. So these are quick release wheels on both sides, so you can take those off there, and then you're left with a very nice lightweight compact frame, which can actually slot into cars very nicely, because of course that part can go in and then the wheels can then be slotted in and around it, so it doesn't take up as much room as you imagine. Good. And to run over a folding chair now, so this is, and again, one of our most popular models, the Quickie QS5, and this folds very much as you'd imagine a traditional wheelchair to do. So you take out the cushion from there, and just by pulling up on the seat canvas, squeeze together there. And what I really like about this model is there's actually an extra locking clip here that clips the wheelchair together, so as you go to lift, whether that's from the seat rail here or whether it's from the wheels, it doesn't open back out on you, you see, as you're doing that. So yeah, it works really well. Some of these chairs as well, this particular chair doesn't have it at the moment, but you can have as an option as like a half folding backrest as well to drop towards the seat, just to, you know, reduce the size. You can of course also, like you could on the rigid, you can take off the wheels. These are quick release wheels as well, so if you do need to make it a little bit smaller or a little bit lighter to get it into the car, that can be done very easily as well. Yeah, so generally speaking, rigid is a very popular option when it comes to active user wheelchairs, mainly because you don't have any folding mechanism on the chair underneath. What that enables them to do is reduce the weight of these chairs. Because there's no extra mechanism underneath there, they always do tend to be lighter, the rigid equivalent to the folding. Also, if you can imagine, the lifespan of the product as well is very good, because there's no folding bracket on the inside and it's just solid metal all the way across there. Often the chairs stay, you know, feeling new for much longer. And the biggest advantage with the rigid, of course, is when you actually propel the chair, all of the energy from your push actually goes into pushing the chair. Whereas with a folding, because you've got that certain amount of flex in the frame, you do lose a little bit of energy there. So I tend to find people propel rigid chairs much easier. And then when it comes to folding, still folding chairs have moved on a lot in time. So they are, you know, when you push to lock them out there in the middle, they do tend to be a lot more rigid than some of the older chairs on the market. And the reasons you might go for a folding chair might just be storage, convenience. So people do like the fact that they can just pull up on the seat like this and fold together. So if you've got certain situations, even just storage at home, and you need to store it in a corner out of the way, then that can be very popular. Even sometimes traveling on public transport might be something for that as well. And occasionally vehicles, these might fit into certain types of vehicles easier. So that's something that we can obviously explore on the assessment and, you know, see if that suits your requirements. So ultimately, the best way to decide whether rigid might suit your lifestyle better or a folding chair might do is to book an assessment. At Vivid Care, we offer completely free of charge, no obligation assessments where I can bring both chairs out to you and, you know, have a trial and go from there. And there's a link in our bio if you'd like to book an assessment with us.